Hi, I'm your host Azhar Zahid Carrim, and today we are at the Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art located at the Innovation Tower. And today we have with us a very special guest. She's an entrepreneur as well as an artist. We have with us Safiya Sideek. How are you doing, Safiya?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Art. It is an expression of skill, technique, and creativity. It's where you bring your imagination onto a canvas. I'm your host, Azhar Karim. I am a producer, content creator, and an artist. I invite you to this show to meet other artists. This could be the creative, the hungry, the energetic, and the aspiring, and get to know their insights on their art, their creativity, and more about themselves. Want to know what it takes to be an artist? Welcome to the Canvas with Azhar Zahid Karim. Safiya is someone who has been on the art scene for 2 years in Sri Lanka as well as other countries. And the reason I invited Safiya to this show is because when I saw her work, I felt like I didn't even have to go to the beach and stare at the sea. There was a sense of calmness, relief, at the same time some intensity when you look at her work. Let us get to know the artist behind the art. So, Safiya, as a person, how would you describe yourself as well as an artist?
As a person, I'm someone who is open to any, opportunity and situations as such. So that helps me as well as in being an artist. So as an artist, I've been painting and dabbling in art for a while. However, in recent times, I've tried to tweak my skills and sharpen them a little bit more. I'm someone who loves to see the details in a picture, and this reflects in my paintings as well. I love to paint the details in a scene, in a seascape and such like that. I find beauty in the details of objects, inanimate or nature-wise as well.
In terms of influences, you said mostly it's about nature and the ocean. So, what exactly, like, in terms of style, how do you get influenced in terms of the painting?
So I follow a lot of local artists of our times, and they've influenced me as well in terms of from where I take influence and the style of painting. However, as I've learned from them, I've also learned to create my own style. So I do notice that I mostly relate with realism, and that's how. And I take influence from my environment. So now, as we live here in Sri Lanka, I've learned to take influence from my surrounding, be it Colombo city or the down south ocean or our greenery.
What really got my attention of one of your works was it seemed like a portal. Like when I saw this painting, I felt like it was in a room, and I felt like it was like a portal to another dimension. Tell us about that piece.
So that's the painting of Vijaya Beach. There's that. It's quite a famous location. There's a rock that it's well known, and so when I choose to paint something, it's also important what type of painting I choose, what type of view and photo, and I love that it was captured in such a way that it seemed to capture the whole ocean in a way. So I named it the Pearl of the Indian Ocean because it kind of described Sri Lanka really well, and it also included quite a bit within that small painting.
In terms of essentials and workspace, what do you need when you produce one of your artworks?
So I paint acrylic paintings. Now as I've experimented with different paints, I need my Liquitex acrylics. I love them. They are really pigmented, highly pigmented, and you can use them for a really long time. I need my brushes. It doesn't matter what type of brush, but yeah, and cloth to wipe off the paint, my easel, and a canvas. Yeah, it's just basic stuff.
So you graduated with a bachelor's in architecture. So did that in any way influence maybe your style, or what exactly happened that from architecture you shifted to this?
So I did work in the field for a bit, but it was a bit too stressful for me. It was not for me, but it did influence me. It helped me learn a few more skills in terms of artwork, as well as how to define the concept for painting and things like that. I also found a new love for urban sketching and like cityscapes and things like that.
Yeah.
So that I owe it to my degree.
How important is social media to you as an artist? Because I've noticed you're very active in the scene of social media. So how important is it to you?
Social media is really important if you want to develop your artwork as a business. So I've heard that a lot of artists, they're quite talented, but they're not very talented in terms of entrepreneurship. So it's really important to know how to balance the two, so that it's not only about being business minded, but it's also that you want to reach more people so that you can share your artwork with more people, and you can share that sense of, the sense of peace and serenity that you feel with your own paintings. So I wish to reach more people in that way, because I know there are quite a few people around who also appreciate my paintings as much as I do. And it's kind of a small community that you create, and it's great in that way. So social media really helps in terms of that, as well. Networking also really helps, like face to face, because people really like to put a face to the painting. They want to get to know the artist in person, to understand them, to get a more personal feel with the paintings. So I would say both social media as well as networking.
So for those artists who basically want to get their name out there, it is an important skill not to only work on your craft, but as well as focus on the business side of it. Otherwise, how will people know that you're even an artist in this time and age? So in terms of your favorite pieces, these can be personal pieces that you're like, no, I'll never sell this. What are your favorite pieces?
So that would be the first seascape painting that I did, which it helped me realize that I can do this, because at the time I was painting my environment, but I hadn't yet tried to paint a seascape, because I thought I wouldn't be able to do it justice. The ocean in itself it has a special place in our hearts. It's very nostalgic. It has a very it's a special place. So, but then with this painting, I had tried a few pieces, and then finally this was the first one that I had done that I was really proud of. So probably that's one.
How do you make it as a full-time artist?
So I did have initial investments from family, but I'm really, I'm thankful that I had quite a few commission pieces, and I started doing a few workshops. A few within Colombo were also planned, but quarantine. But then I had a few down south, and adding to that, I had a quite a large commission piece, and so it's always one after the other, and this really helps.
What's one of the worst things you heard as an artist? In terms of, let's say, in terms of when you're selling a piece, or any client has been annoying or said something annoying?
Not really. I think I've had issues with maybe someone not paying on time, and then justifying not paying on time by saying it's just an art piece, things like that. But I don't think I haven't been in the field for long enough.
In terms of future plans, Safiya, what's going on?
So currently I'm working on a line of products which are for artists, and mainly for like the more intermediate artists. So it's a line of locally based and locally sourced and crafted artist supplies. So as I work on paintings, I'm also doing this on the sideline.
What's the name of that brand?
Elements by Safiya Sideek. Yeah. So it's another business venture that I'm hoping that will take me forward, and I'm currently a lot more focused on that.
So before we end this show, a few words of encouragement would be nice for the audience or for other artists who are striving. Please, a few words.
I would say do what you can. each day. And even if you find yourself feeling lazy, don't beat yourself up about it, because whatever you do each day, even if it's a little, it will mount up to something huge. And then sometime down the line, you're going to look back and appreciate whatever little effort you've done. So sometimes, if you don't feel like painting, maybe just do something on the computer, or maybe make notes or something like that. So always do something towards your main goal, but just change it up just to keep yourself, focused.
Like even the little thing, just like organizing or just
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show, Safiya, and good luck to your future projects.
Thank you.